Folks, you might have heard of Polymarket or Kalshi. Now, these are prediction markets where you can basically place a bet or prediction on anything. Like you could say, I want to place $50 on if it's going to rain tomorrow in my town. They'll take that bet. Now, I decided to put my money into a brand new prediction market called Freezermarket. Number one, the bet is, will this jambalaya be classified as food evidence or a new element on the periodic table? Yes, food, 12 cents. Yes, evidence, 44 cents. Or yes, new element on the periodic table, 44 cents. See, I made jambalaya 3 months ago, or possibly during a previous administration. I froze it because freezing is what adults do when they want to delay consequences and call it meal planning. See, the container had no label, no date, no identifying features except a vague orange glow and a smell capable of filing its own insurance claim. I heated a spoonful. The microwave beeped once, paused, and beeped again with concern. The mailman stood at the screen door. Something exploded? He asked. No, dinner. He stared at the container. For who? The bet I placed was new element on the periodic table. Number two, the second bet was, will RFK Jr. approve this frozen burrito as part of a bold new wellness initiative? Yes, 52 cents, no, 48 cents. The burrito package had faded to a color best described as hospital printer paper after a flood. No brand name remained, no ingredients, no instructions, no evidence it had ever belonged to a civilization. Freezermarket traders argued in the comments. One user named Keto Patriot 1776 wrote, if it has corn syrup, seed oils, and a paragraph of chemicals, RFK bans it. Another user named FreezerDad420 replied, counterpoint, he may personally endorse it if it has mercury, L-care, and vibes. I cut it open. Inside, gray paste, one bean, and a tiny frozen air pocket with the personality of a lobbyist. I bought yes because our national food policy often resembles a T-Rex running across a keyboard in a government office. The third bet on Freezermarket is, what kind of mold is growing on these hamburger patties in my freezer? Common freezer frost, 18 cents, penicillin adjacent, 21 cents, or sentient colony seeking municipal representation, 61 cents. The patties sat beneath a bag of ice behind two freezer pops next to a chicken breast shaped like Connecticut. They had once been beef or hope or a child's clay project. I called my friend Dave. Describe the mold, he said. It has neighborhoods. Color? Mostly white, some blue, a little ambition. Does it move? Only when I talk about interest rates. He was silent for a minute and said, by sentient colony. I did. Later, I swear one patty whispered, we demand zoning reform. The fourth bet on Freezermarket was, will I locate a best if used by date, or will I need carbon dating and a retired archaeologist named Glenn? Yes, legible date, 7 cents. No, archaeologist required, 93 cents. See, food companies print expiration dates using ink invented by ghosts. The date is never on the front, never near the instructions, never near the barcode. It hides in a seam under a flap, printed in pale gray on pale gray, using a font size designed for ants with reading glasses. I found one marking on a bag of frozen broccoli, B517L209 Plant 8. I said, is this a date or a submarine code? My cousin Coffee from Chillicothe squinted at it. Plant 8, he said. That's where they made RoboCop. I bought the bet archaeologist. Freezermarket later resolved the bet after a former Egyptologist named Glenn scraped frost off the bag with a paint scraper and announced this broccoli predates streaming. Number 5. The bet was this Beyond Meat or Beyond Hope? Beyond Meat, 29 cents. Beyond Hope, 71 cents. I found a package in the freezer wrapped in plastic, foil, and denial. It had the shape of burger patties, but not the confidence. I cooked one. It sizzled like a cassette tape at a campfire. The smell filled the kitchen, smoke, soy, regret, and a faint whisper of a farmer saying, "I raised actual cows for this?" My friend Lisa walked in. "Is it meat?" No. "Is it plant-based?" Also no. "What is it?" "An argument," I said. I took one bite and heard a tiny courtroom gavel inside my skull. Beyond Hope paid out at 71 cents. The next bet on Freezermarket was how soon will the FDA arrive wearing hazmat suits with German Shepherds also wearing hazmat suits. Within 1 hour, 9 cents. Within 24 hours, 34 cents. After neighbors alert authorities, 57 cents. This market opened after I thought a freezer bag labeled only sauce. The question mark troubled me. Not sauce, not pasta sauce, not mom's sauce. No. Sauce? A question, a warning, a cry from a previous version of myself who had lost control of the narrative. I opened the bag. The room changed pressure. My dog ran out the door, which never happens unless thunder, fireworks, or my singing enters the chat. The next door neighbor texted, "Everything okay?" My cabinets coughed. I bought neighbors alert authorities for the bet. At 4:17 p.m., 2 men in protective gear knocked on my door. One pointed at my freezer. "Sir, do you have any substances in there capable of remembering the Clinton years?" I said, "Define substances." Behind them stood a German Shepherd in a tiny hazmat hood. He judged me with professional disappointment. The next bet on Freezermarket, number 7. Will this frozen pizza achieve crispiness, or will it become a circular sadness tarp? Crispy, 22 cents bet. Sadness tarp, 78 cents. Frozen pizza instructions lie with the ease of a man selling timeshares at a mall kiosk. Bake 12 to 14 minutes. At 12 minutes, the center is soup. At 14 minutes, the edge becomes roofing material. Now, at 13 minutes, nothing improves. You create a wet tortilla wearing pepperoni jewelry. I placed the pizza directly on the oven rack because the box promised extra crisp crust, which is how food companies say, we have transferred responsibility to you. 7 minutes later, cheese dripped onto the oven floor and created a smoke plume visible from space. My smoke alarm screamed. I opened the oven. The pizza sagged through the rack like a hammock after Thanksgiving. Sadness tarp paid out. The next bet on Freezermarket, number 8. Is this container full of chili, sloppy Joe meat, or an emotional support paste? Chili, 31 cents. Sloppy Joe meat, 27 cents. Emotional support paste, 42 cents. Now, every freezer has one container nobody wants to open. Mine sat in the rear corner behind the vodka I bought for guests I never invite, and a bag of cranberries from a holiday era lost to historians. The container lid had turned brittle. The label, once written in marker, now read CHL SJ don't? I thought it overnight. By morning, it had not melted so much as awakened. I removed the lid. It released a sigh. My kitchen lights flickered. Cousin Coffee came over wearing sunglasses. Why sunglasses? I said. Oh, I don't want it identifying me. I stirred it. It had beans or raisins or witnesses. We resolved it as emotional support paste for the bet when I ate 2 spoonfuls over rice and said, honestly, I've been lonely. The next bet, number 9, will this ice cream still scoop or has it become dairy granite? Still scoopable, 16 cents bet. Dairy granite, 84 cents. Ice cream starts as joy and ends as a block of archaeological dairy. I had 1 pint in the freezer from a brand with a name like a boutique hotel, Whispering Spoon Creamery or Sad Lantern Gelato. Some upscale nonsense. You've all seen it. $11 for 1 pint. Yeah, because apparently milk went to graduate school. I opened it. A layer of ice crystals covered the top like the surface of Europa. I bent a spoon against it. The spoon did not enter the ice cream. The ice cream entered my family history. My grandfather's voice echoed from the spoon handle. We didn't cross the ocean for this. I switched to a steak knife. Cousin Coffee shouted into the phone, Are you covered in a roast? No, mint chip. Dairy granite paid out on the bet. The next bet on Freezermarket I placed, number 10, will I eat this anyway because groceries cost too much? Yes, 99 cents, no, 1 cent. This is Freezermarket's blue chip bet, the S&P 500 of poor decisions. The safest investment since people began telling themselves, it's frozen, so it's probably fine. I stood there holding a container of mystery rice, a warped freezer bag of chicken pieces, and 1 burrito with frostbite. Now, my stomach made a noise like a printer jam. The rational part of my brain said, throw it out, bro. The cheap part of my brain said, food is expensive. The ghost of my mother appeared beside the refrigerator wearing a house dress and the expression of a woman who could stretch 1 chicken into 9 meals, a casserole, and a court summons. Don't waste, she said. Mom, this rice is shaped like a cross. Rice is rice, son. I said it has shadows. She said put gravy on it. Now for the bet, I bought yes with both hands. The market resolved at dinner. I ate it. Was it smart? No. Was it brave? Also no. Was it financially responsible? Well, in the tragic way humans use coupons while destroying their digestive system, yes. Freezermarket sent me a notification. Congratulations, your bet resolved correctly. Then a second notification. Would you like to enter our new market? Will Joe survive breakfast? Yes, 41 cents. No, 59 cents. Resolution source, Joe's bathroom acoustics and whether he cancels lunch. I bought no. Because, see, after inspecting my freezer, my portfolio, and the moral collapse of modern food storage, I have learned one thing. The house always wins. Unless the house has eaten my jambalaya, in which case the house needs to lie down.